We have two cameras shine down on my nose.
All right, everyone, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. It is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022, Swain County Tourism Development Authority regular meeting. Before we get started, if we would please just stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, Lord God, we just want to thank you for the opportunity to come together to serve our community, Father. We ask you, Lord, for wisdom, guidance, Father, Lord God, in the decisions we need to make. And we thank you, Father, Lord God, for what this season means. And we just praise and give you honor and glory, Lord, for all that you bless us with. Now, Father, just be in the proceedings of this meeting, Lord, and just guide each one of us, Father, and that we will work together for the good of our community. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, before we get started on the planned agenda, I'd like to see if we have any changes to the agenda. Okay, with no change, I do have one addition, under item 3A is review of light show operations. I'm going to add 3B, which Kevin King's here with us today, the county manager, and I'm going to ask him to do an overview of the Recreation Department Slide and Lazy River project that we discussed a couple of months ago. You've got a handout on your desk, but we'll go over that when we get there. With that being said, item 1D, meeting minutes approval. You've got a copy in your package of the 11/9/2022 regular meeting minutes. You've got a copy over email as well. Any questions, comments, additions? If not, just looking for a motion to approve. Motion by Afton.
I'll second it.
Second by Pooh. All in favor? All right. That's everyone. Unopposed? And item number 2 then, public comment. We have someone signed up for public comment. Looks like we've got Julia Hunt here. Welcome. And she's here, I think, to talk about the Julia Hunt Scholarship and Light Show. Is that okay?
Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you fine. Floor's yours.
Thank you. So I just want to thank everyone, the board members, for bringing the Christmas Light Show to Swain County. As the administrator of a small nonprofit, the Julia Hunt Scholarship Fund, I look forward for every opportunity to build on my fund. The light show is proving to be a wonderful way to do this. So far, I've had the privilege to twice be at the event center. And what I want to say there is that several of my volunteers had no idea that the county had purchased the event center. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And also in the process of selling tickets to locals, the pre-sales, a lot of them were, where? Oh, they bought that? So just so you guys have that information that's getting out there. So, but I digress. Twice I've worked the light show and have been pleasantly surprised by the turnout and the reactions of both locals and tourists. People have expressed to me their delight in bringing friends and family without having to leave town to do something fun. So I'm here today not only to thank you for this opportunity for the nonprofits, but also to say that I love that if as a town we want to continue growing in tourism, we need to keep bringing in fresh ideas. Having tourists build our nonprofits is brilliant. I just think it's brilliant. The last night I'm scheduled to be at the light show is December 28th. That night, the volunteer staff will be made up of Swain High grads currently enrolled in college and will be home for the holidays. And in order to continue receiving my scholarship fund, they have to continue doing volunteer work throughout their college careers with the hopes that they'll become lifelong givers to their communities. Any of you who have children who are fixing to go to college or in college or have been to college know the exorbitant cost to families. And so by offering this to nonprofits, you are directly benefiting local families through my fund. So I want to encourage you to keep doing this year after year and having the local nonprofits come back. So I thank you for your time. That's really all I have to say.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
Does anyone have
feedback.
anything for Julie?
Any questions?
No, I think it's awesome. I think that we need to, that's the exact information that we need to have to keep us moving forward. So I appreciate you taking the time to come up here and tell us that.
Thank you.
No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Thanks for coming in today.
Sure.
And it's easy to provide constructive or negative feedback about when people try and do new things like this. So thank you for taking the time, giving us some positive feedback.
Oh, I've loved
about
I've
what
told
we did.
Melissa over and over every time I go up there. I mean, I easily sold 150 pre-sale tickets,
Yeah.
you know, just without blinking an eye, and still had people calling me. Do you have any more? Do you have any more? And that was the other thing I really loved, was that you gave the locals an opportunity to get a discount.
Yep.
You know, so that if somebody said, oh, it's too expensive, but first of all, $20 is not too expensive. I mean, you can't go to McDonald's, not that I've been lately, but at any rate.
Yeah.
It's just been a great opportunity.
Are we gonna have a total number of what was pre-sold? Great. Okay. No, I think it was brilliant to pre-sell the tickets. Did we advertise it enough to get get the info out there for the locals to have the opportunity to get it? I mean,
The nonprofits did that on their own.
Yeah.
okay.
I saw a lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
There was a lot of push on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Great. Thank you. And thanks for
Thank you.
staffing too.
Thank you.
Thanks
Yeah.
for volunteering.
Thank you.
Good deal. Well, that dovetails well with number 3, which is Melissa Barker from the Swain County Family Resource Center, CORE, and doing a quick review of light show operations.
Well, I'll second Julia. Thank you for the opportunity to do this, and I'll speak for all the nonprofits. There were 12 that benefited from this, as well as the Family Resource Center and the CORE Group, which is a collaboration of nonprofits that we hope to eliminate any duplication or things that go on in the county and eventually become a funding source for other nonprofits. So thank you, and I can't thank Marianne and her staff enough. Every time that we've needed something, it's came quickly, came as it should. The county maintenance guys are there with us every night to make sure things go smoothly. They leave with us, make sure we're in the car with the money and the deposit. So all in all, we've had little hiccups of learning how to do things. It's the first year, first event, so we've adapted. But everything has went so smoothly. Like the biggest issue that we had was the music, because some people that travel here, Verizon doesn't work. So who knew? So we've learned, and we're looking at ways, if we're fortunate enough to do this again, that we can have the music over the radio. But we came up with a solution. Miss Marianne made CDs, and we have other options of radio stations to listen to Christmas music. So it's not been a big deal, but it was just that little hiccup that we didn't account for. We didn't account for people coming up the event center drive in order to, that didn't expect to come that night. They were just out like riding around and thought there was a parking lot, so they could just like drive up and check it out and go back and get their kids. So we moved the staff down a little bit where there was a turnaround place, so if they didn't want to attend that night. And then we got signs that said, no turnaround beyond this point, this is a paid event. So little things like that that we didn't think of, but I think sometimes you have to host an event to see things you work out. Of the 12 nonprofits, they are required to work 4 nights because we divided it equally. The nights were assigned by a random drawing. I know that sounds silly, but we did not let them pick. We put them all in a pot, and Drew, and you got that night. I train the volunteers. They come up, they work their night with 1 staff, so we only have 1 staff there each night, and they have 4 volunteers, and it's went smoothly. So no hiccups in there. And all of those 12 were allowed to sell the pre-sale tickets, and we had $18,100 in pre-sale tickets. So the way the pre-sale tickets worked is the nonprofits receive $10 for every ticket that they sell individually. So some nonprofits will receive more than others. We had the highest nonprofit sold $4,350 worth of ticket sales, and the lowest one was $20. So that was kind of it's up to you. The ones that had higher pre-sales did a lot of Facebook. They did a lot of just going to groups, talking about the light show, all of those things. So that's why they're pre-sale tickets. Then the tickets from the actual nights that were there that are sold on site, and the tickets that were sold online through the train and different avenues, those all go into one pot. And then the nonprofits, 50% of that will be divided among those 12. 30% will go to core and 20% will come to the Family Resource Center. So that's how those funds will be distributed. Feedback, I'm going to talk real fast so you can have questions, but feedback has been very positive. I think we've had 5 cars that complained, but we all know we can't please everybody. But my favorite comment, because I often refer to Bryson as our little Hallmark town, because it reminds me of a Hallmark movie when we see how it's decorated and has the train. And I had a lady tell me that. She said, this was just the icing on the cake for our Hallmark adventure. So they came to the train. Lots of people said it was a different event, another added-on event to their vacation here. You know, we went, and a lot of people came in their pajamas right after the Polar Express or right before the Polar Express. So it was a great draw. Families said, and then for our local families, it was something to do that was reasonable. I mean, for 15 if you bought it early, or 20 at the gate. I mean, we're seeing repeats of those. We have had people come in, like from Blairsville, Georgia, that drive up to see the lights and go back. So all in all, though, you know, maybe 5 complaints that I've seen or heard about. We offered their money back, and they said, no, it's for a nonprofit. So it didn't even really affect anything. But so all in all, it's went great. I just wanted to come so you can ask me any question that you want to. I'll be transparent and tell you my honest opinion. But we are, as nonprofits in Swain County, we're so thankful that we could partner with Travel and Tourism to not only, you know, bring tourists here and give them a really nice, but also give back to our local families at the same time. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody, so we're just very thankful.
I'd like to know, the negative feedback that I've gotten has been from locals only. And so what has been negative about it?
A couple just said that some of the light shows that they had been to were longer.
Longer.
You know, we have half of the show, which I think we charge kind of half price too. Instead of our tickets being 40 and 50, they're 20. So, so that was a couple of the things that we heard. That was probably it. Just more lights. You know, they had been to bigger. They had been to bigger events. They'd been to Bristol. They had been to events like that, and we don't have the space or any of that to give it. But and we also explained, you know, you're paying half of what those tickets would cost you too, and it's going to nonprofits. So we do have a couple things, if we're fortunate enough to do it next year, that we think would make it even better. So we have that little tally. But one thing is, like, some of the groups dressed up and were real festive, and that made it more pleasant for the kids if they were in crazy Christmas costumes. One group handed out candy canes that they had in the parade that they didn't get to hand out because of the weather, so they gave them out up there. People absolutely love the little teeny cheap candy canes. So we were thinking next year that we might do a little brochure, a little paper that talks about travel and tourism and core, and list all the nonprofits, their addresses and phone numbers. So if people get back and want to send money back to Swain County, it's an option, but they can know that it's a partnership between the two and give them a candy cane.
I think that's awesome.
It's not going to cost us anything, and the nonprofits will, you know, they'll prepare it, put it together. So, but all in all, I mean, I honestly can't think of anything we could have done better. I know we kind of did it quickly. But now that I look back, I don't know if we'd have had a whole lot of extra time if we'd done anything differently, because it just kind of all fell in place. So we're just very thankful for each of you for bringing the opportunity, because when Kevin called that day with his idea about the nonprofits, I was over the moon, because I was like, wow, this is a win-win for everybody, and finally something that we can give back to these nonprofits and the locals here. So, but you ask me any question you want to know. If you want to know nightly sales.
Yeah. Listen, thanks. Well, first of all, thanks for jumping in so quickly. Like you said, when Kevin called and you guys stepped up and did it, and that was great. And it's, you know, from everything I've heard, logistically, everything's gone really well. I was going to ask if maybe you could just give a quick overview of totals today.
So I told you pre-sales. So nightly sales through the 13th, we've taken in $51,890. That includes tickets being bought there. And then when I say pre-sales here, these are the ones that were bought online. So we're at $50,000, and that's in addition to the $18,000.
Okay.
So we're right at $70,000.
Oh, 70, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at 70,000 tickets.
Total, that would be pre-sale by the nonprofits plus the gate sales and the online tickets that were sold.
Are we going every night now?
We're going every night.
Every night now?
Every night till the first of the year, except for Christmas, yes. ma'am.
Okay.
We will be
And then-
closed Christmas.
And then we'll do it till the 31st?
Yes,
Okay.
31st will be the last night that we'll have.
I did look at the last 7 days, and it looks like we did about 11,000 in the last 7 days. So if you just extrapolate that out, I'm guessing we're probably around $100,000 for the
I think it's just
entire
gonna keep
event.
building.
It should build. It should be
Yeah.
a little higher than that, but about $100,000. And is it a fair statement to say this is will be the largest fundraising event for core
Yes.
families by?
By far.
Okay.
We've tried fundraising in the past, and the thing that nonprofits, and that's why they love this idea that Kevin had, was because nonprofits, you have these fundraisers, it's your staff, it's their time, it's their salary, they're taking away from their job. So if you really get to the nitty gritty and you take out of your profits your staff time and the time that you took away from programs and your mission driven stuff, you don't make anything. So when I tell you we've done fundraisers and we made $300 or $400, we've made $300 or $400 and it's killed everybody. This has been easy. Basically, the nonprofits, we required them to come to a training. They show up 4 nights with 4 volunteers and it's done. And the pre-sale tickets was optional. So if I were in a nonprofit, that's amazing. That's the best fundraiser you could ever do, because you have just staff limited hours. There was no planning. There was no money from the nonprofits that had to go in to start with. So this has just been, from our point of view, a win-win for everybody.
Well, just think if you had longer to pre-sale.
Yes, we did. And we had a couple nonprofits contact us after pre-sales were over and the calendar had been done, and we had to tell them no, that they could not participate this year because we didn't want people just pre-selling tickets and not working. Because then we end up, we have to hire workers, and then,
Yeah.
so we said, we took their name and number and we said, we're sorry, you didn't hear about the event. There was 2, but you will be first to contact, we will contact next year. So, and all the 12 that applied, we accepted, because there was just a small application process, and that was more of a commitment. Can you provide your 501c3 and your volunteers?
I have a question, and it's just probably because I just don't know. CORE, I only heard about CORE when this project came about. So could you explain to me what that is?
Yes, ma'am. So CORE was another one of our ideas, and it's mainly just to bring all the nonprofits together to collaborate and not duplicate resources, because Swain County has limited resources. So we don't need 35 food pantries and nobody paying attention to elder care or whatever. So, and it's to get people to work collaboratively together, to work together on grants. And also we were able to create a website that anyone can use. So if you go on the CORE website, you're able to type in resources that are needed, like food, and it will pull up all the nonprofits that give food, their contact information and links to their webpage. So it's been a great tool for human service workers to use it all, to learn about the resources that we have. There's also a page on there where you can go and learn about volunteer opportunities. So if you want to be a volunteer, there's a link for that. So CORE is all about collaborating and bringing people together, and the nonprofits.
How long you been doing this as CORE?
Oh, has it been 3 years?
3 years?
I'm terrible with time, I'm sorry.
What's the website?
I think it's just core.com. I'll look it up and I'll send it to Mary Ann to put in the meetings, the exact address. But.
So I know that you said 30% of the proceeds is going to CORE. What does that?
What will we do
What do
with
you
that?
use it for?
Okay, so it'll be up to that board to choose, but what we would like for that money to be used for is for needs that are not met within the county through nonprofits or agencies. If they have a need, they could apply for that money. And then if there's any other projects or things that we need to do, such as the website, things like that, we will do that. CORE has operated with no money until this point, but this has been the vision, that it would have a pot of money to step in and help with emergency needs. And since we are no longer a Tier 1 county, our grants will be cut tremendously. So even though the needs are, they're all there, we won't be eligible for as much money, so hopefully some of this maybe could fill in some of the gaps there.
So this nonprofit was started 3 years ago?
Yes,
Who started it? Who's the board
It's not a
member?
nonprofit.
it's
not
just
a
a,
nonprofit.
Is it an arm of the
Core is not
county?
a nonprofit.
What is CORE exactly?
Core is just a part of the county government. What we're seeing is like all the different nonprofits in the community, which is 14 to 18 roughly, they were kind of just doing their own thing and not coordinating services with county like DSS, health department, things like that. So what we did was listed and I call it a continuum of care. Like if there's a plug-in service, you have all your programs on the right and your services across the top. And basically what you're trying to do is fill in the gaps. So what CORE does is basically say, okay, and it was really a transition of some of the road interest money they wanted to put, the commissioners wanted to put a certain amount of money into CORE to basically give small grants out to nonprofits to fulfill a mission. So if you have a gap in your service delivery, you can say, okay, well, what nonprofit wants to deliver that service? Because guess what, we don't have the county resources to do it, and you're kind of doing something similar. Can we give you $5,000 grant to provide that service? That's really what CORE is. It's a way to coordinate all of those services of all of those nonprofits together to make sure that the services for the community are being met. And that's really what it is. But CORE, actually, the checking account for CORE is in the Swain County Finance Office, and we have a yearly report.
and there's no paid staff
So is
for
there any-
anything. There's no paid, it's no salary, it's
Is
just.
there any funding from the county for CORE?
Eventually, yeah.
And you did fund the
Yeah.
webpage.
So
and those-
right now we put in, they put in $100,000, but it's gonna be kind of earmarked for a scholarship program. So that's going to, I think it's not College Foundation, what United Gift Fund of Asheville, or West North Carolina, I believe, to start a trade school scholarship program. And then they wanted to start allocating, the prior board, wanted to start allocating $50,000 a year for many grants. And the core group, which is consisting of, we have one commissioner, several human services staff that's kind of in the program
Department
area,
heads.
is on that board, and they would kind of give to the commissioners a list of recommendations on the grants and the service deliveries they would see. And so that's kind of the vision of it. And at the end of the day, it was all, they were kind of like, all these programs like haphazard. It was kind of like a swell of these nonprofits came up and.
Well, I think it's an excellent idea, because I think in most towns, they find that there is multiple, I'm gonna say duplications, but more than that.
Yes.
I know Cherokee had the same issue of doing the same things. And, I think I think it's a great idea. I'd like to know more about it, and I'd like to know about who's on the board and.
Sure.
And I think it's, huh?
I can tell you that.
Yeah,
Our commissioner is Roger Parsons.
okay.
David, and it's mainly made up of department heads. So David Breedlove is on the board, myself, Sheila Sutton, Bree Collison, Allison Cochran, and Ted Duncan is the ministerial
Sounds like a good board.
representative. So we can rotate those on and off. But the reason that we wanted department heads is because most of our department heads have been here a long time. So they're real seasoned and they know about the needs, and they're seeing their clients. So it's been a great opportunity to talk and identify and work with the nonprofits. So that's who is on the board right now. Not saying that we won't add but that was the planning board, and that's where we're at right now.
I had the
And
same
Kevin has
question
a,
that Cheryl
yeah.
had, sorry. I had the same question that Cheryl had. When I Googled CORE, it was real vague. It didn't have a mission statement or anything like that, so that's why
Sure.
we didn't
And I'll go
we
back
didn't
there.
understand who CORE is.
There
or-
should have been a mission statement on there, but I'll
Okay.
go back and check. We did have just developed it, so.
Okay.
And if you can't find it, it's not in the right place or it's not there, so we will definitely look at that and make sure that
So
it's
it's clear that
clear
it-
to the public.
It is an arm of the county,
Yes,
and it's not funded yet by the county, but it's going to be funded by the county.
That was the purpose in it. The first 3 years have been really getting the website developed, getting the coordination of all the nonprofits, kind of a buy-in.
but some of them are very, well, they're private nonprofits, so it's hard to get them involved. They go out and write these grants because there's grants all over the place. They go out and write these grants, and they may not talk to you about it, and they just may kind of go and write the grant, and we don't even know they got it. You know, and that's kind of what we were trying to figure out, is how we can coordinate better and not have duplication of services or services that's not even needed.
Right.
And that sort of thing, and just have all this money flowing, especially with COVID, there was money flowing all over the place.
Yeah.
And so it really, COVID kind of slowed down this process, to be honest with you, because everybody's so busy with funding coming from everywhere. And so I think that's the initial goal is to try to make sure that everybody that is in the service delivery area knew, one, what services are out there, but two, could partner with somebody, because why would the county want to create a program if this program we was doing it? That is why we were doing it. It was just to make sure we don't want to start something if another nonprofit's doing it. We don't need to do it. We just need to, you know, help them.
Well, and I think it's an excellent idea, and I encourage you, when you can, to put together some type of, I'm gonna call it a PR packet, but an informative packet to let everybody, like all of the businesses and that, definitely know in Swain County, because the businesses get hit too
Exactly.
for the donations. I mean, I came home to a stack on my desk, and I would like to know what is already being provided in this county, because I'd like to start being a little bit more choosy of who I give additional money to. And so I think as long as it's got an open policy, and then get that information out to all of us so that we can all be
That's a great
educated
idea.
to help. Because I think we all ultimately want to help, but
Yes.
I'm gonna say it, you get tired of helping the same organizations and you're not seeing any progress, you know, and things like that. So I think it's a great idea.
And want just a little story to tell you what kind of, years ago, the Family Resource Center is grant funded, and our main grant was up for renewal. And so at the time, Sheila Sutton was the director of the Department of Social Services, and you have to sign off on it. So there was another entity, not even from Swain County, that was bidding for the same grant. So when it crossed her desk, we had all worked closely enough that she made the call to me and said, hey, what's up? And we're like, we have no idea. Had she have signed that paper, we would not have been funded. So, you know, working together in knowledge, because funders don't want to see 5 applications from Swain County, or they don't want to see a regional application coming in to serve Swain County, and then Swain County asking for money. So we really want to make,
Keeps everybody honest.
and we're limited resources here, so we want to make the most of the resources that we have and serve the most people that we can.
I think an annual report or something like that's a great idea to,
Yeah.
you know, get it out to us. And I don't know if any of the board members here have any interest in participating on, perhaps on your board, if we continue to do this activity.
Yes, I think
and become
that'd
a
be
larger
a
funding
great
source.
idea.
And it might be something where if you
Yeah.
have an opportunity to invite someone from this group to be on the board, then we can
I think that would be a
investigate
great
some
idea.
key takers. Anyone else? Any questions?
Is there just how many nonprofits is in court? I mean, how many do you guys give out, or who's in the club? So to
Well, we
speak?
haven't given any money out. It's all been about coordination so far, Eugene.
Gotcha.
We haven't. We have interviewed, I would say, membership-wise, there's close to 18 to 22. We could pull it and see. There's a lot more in Swain County that are listed if you go on the North Carolina website, but some of them don't exist. Some of them chose not to be a part. Some of them, you know, but those are the members that come, and I can provide you with a list.
Yeah,
if you would
cool.
like.
guys want to
That'd be
just
easy.
email that,
Sure.
have Mary Ann shoot
Yeah.
it over, 'cause I'd like
Okay.
to see.
I'd like to know who all
Sure.
is
Really like to know who's
nonprofit.
involved.
And it, you know, we have coming on and coming off, because
Yeah.
nonprofits are started every day, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So, we'll send you the most updated, list. Sheila Sutton was kind of charged with, going around for the county and interviewing all the nonprofits. So, she already has that list. It'll be very easy to get to Miss Mary Ann. And so we're just excited to have opportunity to finally have a project that we can all do together, and possibly a funding source to fill in some of these gaps. And I just think it's been a wonderful partnership, and I have no complaints on my end, but I want to answer any questions or concerns that any of you may have, because we can't do it without you.
Well, I just want to say that I think that the whole idea, core, is excellent. And I think that people need to be aware that people can prey on small communities like this.
Yes.
And come in and set up nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a way of kind of auditing that. I'm looking at that.
Yes.
And times have changed, and there's just a lot of dishonesty and fraud in that's being committed, and anything that we can do to protect our county and our citizens is what we should be doing. And I think taking a proactive stance is to be commended. And so I appreciate you doing that, and I'm sorry that I didn't know about it before today.
No, I feel like that's on us, because we really haven't marketed it or put it out there, because we've been developing it.
Sure.
And
But you're
like
doing
Kevin
something.
said, we did kind of have to pause there for COVID. And this is one of those things we do in addition to our jobs. So, but I do see that that's been on us. That was a lack of marketing, and we need to work on that and get that out to the community. But I feel like we're in a place now to do that, don't you, Kevin? I feel like we're strong enough, and people can ask and answer the questions that they need to, so.
And the initial concept, I will have to disclaim this, was the previous board chair, commissioner board chair. He was the big advocate, and it really centered more around volunteerism, because we have people all the time wanting to volunteer. And we wanted an organization where we can kind of plug and play. We can say, hey, what do you want to do? And we can kind of plug you in wherever, your focus area would like to be. And so that was the initial focus, and then it kind of morphed into more, of the grant stuff. That's where they threw in, hey, we'd like to give an annual appropriation of $50,000 out of the settlement money to do this, because there's other people had asked us, well, hey, can we use some of that interest for all this stuff? And so the board at that time wanted to do that, which, we have a new board now. I don't know what their pleasure is going to be, but moving forward, that's what we're going to recommend, is still to move from that vision. Still have oversight, and and it'll end up in their, they will be the ones deciding who gets what. It's not going to be the core group. The core group is going to recommend. So that's kind of the deal. That's why it's still underneath the county, because the commissioners are going to be the ones to say where the money would go if any grants are given out.
Are you guys making these nonprofits pay those grants back, or is it, no, it's just gave them?
It's just a grant, and it'll all be dependent, like I say, it'll all be dependent upon that service delivery. If there's the county works with many nonprofits, like we've got one arrangement with Restoration House for the project for the elderly. Fixing up houses, we got like a $70,000 grant for that. They administer it. Melissa's folks, they kind of take an application. We make sure that people meet criteria, to get the services.
So it's really
It's
holding
kind of
the,
a combination of all of that.
it kind of holds the nonprofits accountable for how they're doing.
Yeah. So, and going back to some of the, I'm not to rehash nothing or anything, but, in my tenure here, we had the Partnership for Future Brazos City, Swain County, which is a development of a nonprofit back in 1997 with the town of Brazos City. That one kind of sunset, I think, in 2012. After that, or right before that, Community Services Swain, initially this contract was done by the county government. That one went private because private nonprofits get more money than a public nonprofit. And so that was the deal with that one. That's how we built the senior center. We did a lot of other projects throughout town. So this is just a combination of that, more in the private realm, making sure that we can coordinate services. So we're not going to go out and develop no more nonprofits. We're just going to work with what we've got.
Cultivate what you got.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And if any of you have questions about a nonprofit or anything that approaches you, you're welcome to call myself, and we'll let you know if they're a member of the group, and if we know if they're legit, if they're here, if they're serving.
Is Restoration House privately held nonprofit?
Yeah.
Who is on that one? Who owns that?
don't know who's on registration in school.
I
it's
know Wayne
sponsored.
Dickerson and Catherine Kobelson, and I'm not sure of all of them, Eugene, but it should be on their website where you're supposed to list your board of directors. I mean, we work with them, but they're not in there on the.
It's sponsored by the Methodist
Methodist
Church, but
Church.
it's still considered a private nonprofit.
Maybe
Okay.
Carol, I'm not
Faith-based
sure.
probably.
Yeah, it's a faith-based nonprofit.
Okay,
Faith-based.
that's what, I was curious, that's what I thought it was through the Methodist Church, but I wasn't sure, I thought they owned that
Yeah.
property.
I just don't know all their board members,
Gotcha, no, that's fine.
but I'm sure it's listed on their website.
Anything else from Melissa or Kevin
No.
on this one? All right,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
3 more busy weeks.
3 more, we're excited, we've been enjoying it.
All right, thanks again, and next up, we're just gonna have a quick discussion with Kevin, about the recreation park slide, pool, lazy river concept, if anyone has any questions about that. You've got a couple drawings and pictures, that were left on your station, so, give you some reference points for that.
And I'll start with a slide, because it'll be the one coming first. We did order it the other day, so it should be here. It's probably gonna be August, so we're gonna miss some of the stuff just because getting stuff. It's
Right.
harder to get stuff. But anyway, we did pay the deposit the other day on it, and, in the spring, once our crew finishes with the Fly Fishing Museum, we're gonna do the footers for this. And we're hiring a company, and it's, trying to think of the name of it. They're out of Ohio. They're a management consulting company. They're the actually ones to be putting it in. But you have to buy the slides separate. It's kind of like you buy the equipment and you gotta find somebody to stick it in.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's gonna be happening, this spring, and then probably put in August, so it'll be good for the following year. At the same time, we're also gonna bid out the, lazy river, which that's what that picture is. It's 150 feet long, and I think it's 60 feet wide, I believe. So it's pretty good size, river, and I've been talking to a local consultant about it. This will be bid out 100% to a contractor. And I do have two contractors that want to bid on it that specializes in water parks. So one of them does a lot of work for Splash Country, and they do the beach stuff and all that. So hopefully we'll get a good product at the end. With that said, I do want to, I'd ask Mary Ann to see if we do need some assistance from the marketing standpoint, looking at the best name for rebranding the water park. I'm calling it water park, but we'd first talked about like Smoky Mountain Aquatic Center or whatever. We do need help with that. We want to come up with something very good that's going to be, the tourists and locals alike can use it and know, hey, it's a water park. And so we're moving our offices. The county, the recreation offices will be moved down to the indoor rec facility, which is getting ready to be, actually it's pretty good, on its way to get refurbished now. So they'll be moved down to there, and we've got a new director. She'll be coming in. Actually, our first day is next week. Our Jim Brown's retiring end of March, I believe, somewhere in there. And so Taylor Woodard, who has a 4-year degree in Parks and Rec, has been a county employee for about 3 years as a social worker. So she's been moved up, promoted for that position. So moving forward, we're going to have that, and then the new building. So we're going to tear down, when we put the lazy river in, we'll be tearing down the bathrooms, which will be next fall. And there'll be 2 meeting rooms in the front of the facility, and then new bathrooms, some places for the lifeguard, but it'll be a total aquatic center. There's not going to be any rec staff there as per se. It'll be all across the road. So anyway, that's kind of the way we're going to handle it.
Is the plan to tear down the entire building that's there now? Or is it still
If we can
thinking
renovate it, we will. If not, we'll tear it down. Yeah. Because pretty much you're going to have to gut out the entire
inside anyway.
Yeah.
So,
And those meeting rooms, could those be party rooms too?
party rooms.
Good.
We're gonna have spin classes. We're gonna have other recreational type of stuff. So there's a lot of ideas.
Perfect.
So,
So I got a question. Has the commissioners or you put any thought into, since there's not any more land with the rec park, we've got what we've got.
yeah.
Moving the maintenance department and using that area with the rec park.
There has been thought about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, it's still allowed under the Land and Water Conservation Fund, which that's the initial rec park was purchased through that in the '70s. So we have to they got pretty strict guidelines.
Yeah.
But maintenance does qualify. And of course, you have to maintain your property, but that is the only place where you have to expand. And so it would be nice to put, right now with the Park Service and the way that they, I guess they rent the shelter at the park. A lot of people can't get that shelter anymore, limited parking. So it'd be nice to have a couple more pavilions for
Yeah.
people to use. So
Yeah, because I mean, they don't use a great big space up there. And I know it's not just maintenance for the rec park, it's the county maintenance.
right,
It's for the entire county.
yeah, it is.
If there's some, and I'm sure you guys have already discussed some trying to relocate so it doesn't look like a maintenance yard laying up there with a bunch of junk in it.
Is that where our storage building that we bought, that we never used?
It's up there.
That's where it's at?
It's up there, isn't it?
Yep.
But anyway, that'd give more parking because, you built the new fields up there on that same gravel parking lot and it's always just jumbled up with maintenance department stuff.
Right.
And I know you got a fence around it to keep people out of it, but I was thinking the other day, the more we're growing with this rec park, and we talked years ago about a dog park, trying to be a pet-friendly county.
No.
We just don't have the space. I know there's woods over there, but it's privately owned land. So if there's any way that the county could start thinking about future
I
moving the
definitely think there's a need
maintenance
for a dog park.
Yeah.
There's definitely a need for a dog park.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
well, and I remember the conversation we had before, liability and all that, but, no, we need a location for a dog park, but I know that if we had, that one maintenance building with a fence around it on other county property somewhere, it's gonna give us a little bit more land up there
Right.
around it. And I know you guys just built the building out there off Buckner Branch, and you got all that property out there now, but of course, that's steep as a
Yeah.
horse's face out there.
Yeah, we don't have much usable county property.
Right.
That was for 911, all that stuff out there is for 911 emergency management
Yep.
stuff. But yeah, we'll look into it and see. I mean,
It's just
good
an
idea.
idea, because like you said, you bought the RC plant, or not the RC plant, but the knee-high plant across the road, or the seal test, wasn't it, or something?
Pepsi,
Pepsi.
yep.
Bought the Pepsi plant across the road, but eventually, now we're taking a slide up to where the maintenance department is,
Yeah.
and all the people are gonna stand there looking at a bunch of junk sitting on the ground.
But can a county
Get on
buy-
the slide, and ride down the slide.
No, I know. Can you buy, out individuals? Like, if somebody had some property adjacent to one of your buildings, y'all can propose buying somebody out?
Yeah, if the county has, money available to buy,
do that?
you can buy anything you want to.
Okay.
If,
I just think we're building on this rec park thing, and
Yeah.
it's a great idea.
I
We're all
do.
for the county and for the kids.
yeah. No, we can look, I think
We need to look
that,
at-
I think with new, we're gonna totally redo how we do recreation with this next,
Yeah.
so we've already kind of instructed the new staff that, we're gonna do a lot more programming, for one. We're gonna do, there's gonna be different programs for all age groups, all the way up, and not just the same football, basketball. I mean, we're talking a total revamp, so that is 100% gonna happen.
That's great. Get it back to where it used to be.
Yeah. So, it's gonna be great. We've had meetings with the new senior center director, and we're gonna have a lot of stuff more for seniors, because that seems to be what's been left out. The new indoor facility, we've got, not new, refurbished, It's got all new walls in it. It's got all new insulation. It'll have HVAC by the summer. So that will be used all the time, can be used all the time. So we're looking at a lot of different stuff. We're looking at spin classes. We're looking at, we want to do an indoor golf with, we can do the driving range and all that good stuff. Since we don't have space for it, we can do electronically. A lot of different creative ideas,
Yeah.
I guess is what you'd say. So.
I want an indoor pool.
So
Yeah, I was about to vote on that.
Yeah.
That would be
As
nice.
you are.
And there may be there's some options there for that.
So it sounds like a good location, once you get the building tore down at the pool, rebuilt for EV charging stations there.
We can do that, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna it'll be totally redone in the front with the new parking area, the way of coming in and that sort of thing. So there's gonna be plenty of opportunity there. So to put that in while we're doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good.
Anything else for Kevin?
How long is the plan projected out? How many years?
This we have to have done within 3 years, but we want to do it next fall. We want to have the contract ready to go by. This now is in the state's hands. We have to get approved by the state of North Carolina on
I looked at that.
the Lazy River.
That's why I was
And so once they get out of their hand, we can do the bidding. So this is a $750,000 to $1 million project, roughly.
Now, where does this lazy river go?
You know where the bathrooms are now?
Right.
Kind of the side, all that's gonna be gone.
Okay.
So there's gonna be a small retaining wall along the bank there, and it's gonna go right there, and you know where there's like a beach volleyball,
Yeah, yeah,
all that'll be gone.
okay.
So that,
Like a
and it's gonna,
projected finish time,
do what?
like a projected time.
She's
I think,
energetic.
this wall.
We want to have this done, by 2024, summer of 2024. Both the slide and the Lazy River, we want to have done by 2024, the summer,
Okay.
and open.
That'd be something to get the locals excited about,
Yeah.
some marketing behind that too.
Yeah.
A sign.
Hey, Kevin, I was thinking about it, the pool isn't self-sufficient right now, right? Like, it runs a deficit, it's self-sufficient.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely runs a deficit.
Are pricing increases or anything contemplated with this, at least for non-locals? Pricing increases and trying
There
to
is,
get
it's not gonna be,
closer?
we're not gonna charge a lot more, but,
Okay,
I would say there will be a premium added on to it.
okay. I was just wondering as far as rebranding and pricing and, yeah, it's totally.
Yeah, and I'll rely upon y'all for that. I mean, y'all,
Yeah.
y'all think about that. This is an attraction. You have to think of it as y'all are building an attraction.
Yeah.
Kind of handing over to y'all. Because I do think that, from that standpoint, if we can just have a local discount,
I just do a Swain County resident price.
and that's fine.
I think you gotta have a
That's
Swain
fine.
County resident
But-
price, and then there's everybody else.
We want this to pop.
Yeah.
I mean, we want a lot more, the more attractions you add, the more people you can have in the park at the same time. It's just like any other
Right.
attraction, bigger you make it, the more people you have, so
Okay.
be good.
Thanks for the update.
Thank you.
Okay, next thing on the agenda, we got Julie Thorner with Liquid Spark to do an overview of some of the work that they've been doing for the TDA. Is there some
Yep.
setup going on?
Yep.
You stole your spot.
I'd like to introduce Julie Thorner to you. She's the president and founder of Liquid Spark, and they have been doing all of our marketing work for a year and a half now. So it's long overdue for her to come in and kind of just give you a quick overview, answer any questions. There's a lot of marketing materials out there. Maybe you've seen some of them, but this is the brand behind our brand. So
Can we just get some clarification, what all she does?
yeah, I think she's gonna.
Okay.
She's gonna go through
Yeah.
all of that. I mean, you guys are familiar with Pineapple and the PR work that they do. This is more about the marketing and advertising.
Right.
And she'll go into that.
Okay.
So,
She already signed.
here's Julie.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here, and I should come to meetings more often. I've heard several things that make me very excited. I'm a Swain County resident. I've been here off and on for years and years and years. found my way to NOC as a young raft guide after bailing from Wall Street. But I wanted to call out Julia's comment about having tourists build our nonprofits. Fabulous marketing ploy. Kevin, congratulations, was such a good idea. I'm really excited about that. I know our team is excited about that. I went to the light show on Monday night and with a friend, and I thought it was fabulous, and understood what it was at half the show. So more press about that should be forthcoming. And I'm very excited to hear what you're talking about with the rec park. My kids are now grown, but those sorts of opportunities for kids are great. I was a soccer coach here for years. Really excited about Lazy River, and we will be all about helping you market and brand that, for sure. Taylor is with me as well. Taylor is the day-to-day lead on the Swain County Tourism account. She's our account manager and strategist, and she works with Riley. Some of you have met Riley. I know, Eugene, good to see you. I didn't catch any fish this past weekend, but I tried, didn't lose any flies. But they are behind, and Afton, good to see you. You probably know Taylor and Riley. So let's jump in. We've had a long meeting. I know you guys like to leave on time. We're just going to rattle through, show you what we've done, and make it real clear as to what Liquid Spark does for the TDA and Swain County as opposed to some of the other players. So this is a nice collage we did when we first came in. Our primary goal is to help support the outdoor adventure story for Swain County. We are an exclusively adventure tourism marketing agency. We specialize in all of the outdoor adventure types of marketing activities, destinations, and adventure companies. We came in and did a photo and video shoot. These are some of the assets that we did. We wanted to cover the outdoors in general, around town, water activities. The Nantahala Gorge put Bryson City on the tourism map for the whitewater rafting activity, and then the train came in after the rafting had started. The videos were really key part of telling the story. We created 15-second, 30-second, and 60-second clips. The 60-second, 1-minute videos have a full-on script and voiceover about the various activities. And if you haven't seen those, they should all be on the YouTube channel now. They're being used in various marketing efforts with Mary Ann's crew. We did an overview video, the around town video, and we've done outdoors. We focused also on water activities. So we live and breathe the whitewater rafting, the kayaking, sup paddling, lake touring, etc. So it was really cool. We could bring in the videographers, and we showed them our backyard, right? We knew where to go, where the rapids were, all the stops. So we were really excited to showcase that. I was a guide and then a manager for NOC for years. So bringing in our colleagues for the video shoot, my fabulous younger staff were models for part of that as well. Taylor, you'll see in some of those shots. But we had a lot of fun, but more importantly, we were able to tell the compelling story that defines Swain County separate from Haywood County, Macon County, Jackson County, right? We have the whitewater rafting. We are adjacent to the park, and of course Haywood County is as well, but we have a unique story, and we want to tell that story. Historically, our marketing has done a bang-up job about telling the have a big vacation in a small town story and the train story. The train doesn't need as much help. It's quite well known. Getting that outdoor adventure story in so we get that younger demographic that we want to add to our marketing audience. We have the younger families for the train, and we have older vacationers. Our job as Liquid Spark is to help bring in that 25 to 45 market to come in and experience our shops, our breweries, restaurants, and our outdoor adventures. And then we had so much footage, we got to create smaller clips about some of the awesome individual activities. And then, of course, Darnell Farms is its own activity. So you will also be able to see those. They should be on the YouTube channel as well for Swain County. So what do? We support on content marketing when ad partners come to us and need content to for their media channels. So Blue Ridge Outdoors Magazine did a spot on Bryson City, and we supported content for that. Taylor, I don't know if you want to say anything more about that.
Yeah, so this example is Blue Ridge Outdoors, and this is a placement that Marion purchased, and it was for an article, and we actually write the article, not them. So we came forward and wrote the article and featured a bunch of activities in town, and this was all about fall things to do in the outdoors. So fishing was definitely focused on, and then mountain biking, and just highlighting all those aspects for tourism. And you know, Blue Ridge Outdoors is an awesome publication, so it went up as an article. It was featured on their homepage, and then it was also on their social media. And then in the article, we had like from the locals look little tips where it got more deep. A lot of these articles can be so just top level. So we talked about how to go experience the outdoors in Bryce City through locals' eyes, and had these little tidbits in it as well. And it was a good performing article. So, and that's just one example.
Yeah, awesome, thank you. So we do your print materials. We do print and digital. So we are the folks behind the new ads that are showing up in the magazines. These are placements that the Marianne has led, and we support on strategy, and she talks to us about that, and we help make recommendations. So this is your new branding from the new website incorporated into your ads. And again, we're trying to tell a more comprehensive story. It's not the just the town angle. It's really the adventures and the various things to do in it. So in the top right, of course, you'll recognize your website homepage, and the ads that support that. You can see the branding working on it. And of course, it's all the adventures you can do here, and we encourage guests to see that they can't just pick one, because there's so many to do. More examples of print materials. This is a more recent billboard. And then we have amazing cabin rentals here, and opportunities to have a vacation that's adventure and some really wonderful places to relax in the mountains. So we were pulling that in. One of our video shoots was emphasizing the lodging and camping areas of Swain County. Next. We also updated your print materials that were already in existence when we first came in. And you'll note this branding isn't quite on with the new branding, because this was done before the new branding had been finished. And what we did is, this example, we updated the Road to Nowhere and Waterfalls brochures. We actually created some new brochures that we felt were really important to telling that story, and they're available for tourists. One is on Fontana Lake and fishing activities, and the other is the Nantahala Gorge, because there's so much to do in the gorge. And you know, despite how important that is to our revenue stream, there was not a separate brochure on the gorge. And you know, we were naturals to do that, because we know everybody in there and what those activities are, and more importantly, as a marketing agency, how to talk to the customers who are interested in that, both experienced and inexperienced. So we are also the creators behind your digital ads, and we're online right now, which is why you can see those cool graphics changing. And again, it's all about the many things to do right here in Swain County and the different options. We are also working hard on including diversity where we can in our marketing. We feel that's important and a large opportunity for our audiences for Swain County. Here's a media partnership example where Visit NC and Romantic Asheville wanted to cover some opportunities in Swain County. So our team was able to send them in the right direction with content and support that story development. Taylor, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our work sometimes will be arranging and producing behind the scenes, not only making these assets, but we'll be reaching out to you guys as partners to set up and produce whole days where Romantic Asheville or Visit North Carolina come visit, and we kind of guide them around the town and show them the aspects we think they should hit on to do this whole well-rounded experience. So like Julie said, you saw the Lakeview at Fontana Spa, so telling the story of like, go with Eugene in the morning, get on the river and go fishing, and then go get this awesome lunch downtown, and then afterwards go get your spa treatment, and just showing the county just so well-rounded. So one example here is an Instagram story with the guys that visit NC, and so that went on their channels, and so we took them all around Bryson City on some adventures, and then like the spa treatment afterwards as well. And then this is more, over here you'll see more on social media, and the team that visits NC is awesome. These pictures they got are just some kids they caught at Deep Creek, and it's not staged at all. And so just guiding them around, getting them with you guys in connection so they know who to talk to get the most real experience and get these cool candid shots, not fake model shots for the county. So, and then in the middle was a giveaway with Romantic Asheville that we coordinated recently with Marianne, and decided that that would be a great way to showcase all of the Christmas things going on, and especially the light show, because it needed a little bit of boost because that came around pretty quickly for us to get that in front of a large audience. So we pitched doing a giveaway with them and coordinated that because Romantic Asheville, I don't know if any of you guys have seen their social media and stuff, but it's already people thinking about visiting this area or in the surrounding counties who would also come in for this light show. So we did a giveaway with the train and the yard ice skating, and then the light show. Is that it? I think so, yeah. And I think they said they had like 5,000 entries or something like that for this giveaway to win that trip to the county. And then beyond that, it just got out in front of all of those people on social that all this stuff was going on to have that hallmark Christmas, as she said, in this county. So.
Yeah, and note that Romantic Asheville is your single largest refer from, to the Bryson City website. So they're a key partner. And just to clarify media partnerships, we do not manage influencers or bring them in and show them around. We manage media partners who want to come in and do on-site gathering content to pitch in their channel, and we support that. So the holiday campaign for the Christmas light show, this did come on suddenly. Should we capitalize that with an S there, Marianne? Yeah. So, and we were all able to rally and knock this out and create a whole branding story around it, and then put it out in the various channels, et cetera. And we're really excited to have been able to be a part of that, and love what it's bringing to the county. The story behind it is super powerful. So that was our team that did this. Yeah, really quick turnaround.
This was before we had any photo or video assets.
I was going to say that was the...
Yeah, so this, this was really, you know, we had to push this out without photo and video.
Yeah. Like
so this is,
zero.
Yeah.
Because it's not a full-on Shadrack's event, right? So we can't use their videos, their materials or lights. That would have been misleading. It's a smaller event. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then similarly, I don't think we put it in here, but the Strawberry Jam races,
Oh, yeah.
we did the branding for that as well, and it was another case of, it was the first year, so kind of making a new logo and putting that out there as well.
No,
Yeah.
she did that.
And that was fun because we're a bunch of runners too. So we do the monthly e-newsletter. We've really worked hard to change the positioning of this newsletter to really focus on the adventure story, things to do, and then adding in the shopping, the restaurants, the dining, et cetera. And of course, you know, for us, Darnell Farms is the adventure thing to do as well, right? So you can see what these newsletters match the branding. They're long form. We have great open rates on them. They're typically in the high 30s. We've seen 40s as well. So we're feeling good about that. We do notice that still the people on the newsletter, I think that's the stat that I saw was in the newsletter around age demographics. We really want to see the age demographics be under 45, that population needs to grow. So the focus, we want to make sure that collectively all of our teams are focused on that. So this is the end. So what do? We support Marianne with marketing strategy recommendations. We do all your print ads, your digital ads, your brochures, your billboards. We are behind the new asset development for videos and photos, the storylines, what we're going after, the outdoor adventure focus. We don't do social media at all. We'll make recommendations, but we don't do anything with that. We don't create website content. We don't do your PR or your influencer marketing. We will start supporting with search engine optimization on your website starting in the first quarter. So.
We do those things, just not on this account, just in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah, so we don't have time for it, but there's an awesome video that I wanted to show you. It's just, it's not quite 3 minutes. It's a great overview of what we do. And you could, we'll give this packet to Mary Ann. She can send it out. We'll have a link to our website. On the home page is that video. It shows you everything we do. We handle all channels, actually. So, we are thrilled to be part of Swain County's tourism effort. Taylor lives in Haywood County, and a bunch of our team is from here, and we have people actually all over the states and some abroad, but as a Swain County resident, I'm thrilled to be able to support and help make a difference. We've talked a lot. I'll stop there because I'm sure you have some questions.
I absolutely love what you guys do, as I've talked with you before, and the things you do, because that's obviously I'm in the outdoor industry, but I think, honestly, that's why people come here, is to do stuff in the outdoors, see the mountains and things, and do the outdoor activities, whether it's an outdoor sport or just being out hiking around, kicking around, looking at what we got. I'd love to see it expanded upon more with our social media than what we're even doing now. Particularly with our Instagram, we have a lot of pretty pictures or stuff. Created a photographer that took the picture of, but it's like, all right, we can do a lot with our activities. And it's just the things that we've got here, because it's, when I look at that, I'm not knocking it, because it gets a lot of followers and a lot of people and a lot of engagement, so that looks good when you're bringing it in and setting it down in front of somebody. But how does that relate in conversions to who's coming here and doing these things? So if we put more of the activities and things like that on there, little short videos like reels, things of that nature, because those are the more hip thing now. I think it's going to engage a lot more people, get more people. We'll see a lot more conversions from those folks that actually follow us and follow what we're doing there. So I think there's got to be a little bit more push for some of that maybe, and I think that's where you guys come into play with this. I really enjoy what you do and come from similar backgrounds in a way. So.
Yeah, well, thank you. We'd love to support, and you know, we talk with Mary Ann, and Mary Ann, you know, we're here to support. There is a huge following on Instagram, and there's an opportunity to start shifting into a really people-focused presentation. In addition, because those beautiful pictures are also what brings people here. Yeah. But we do think, and Taylor's going to know this better than me as she lives it every day, we do think that younger demographic, they are definitely on Instagram more than Facebook, and they're looking for specific content. And we all know for marketing, if we can see ourselves in the image, it's easier for us to get to that destination or that activity, right? So, yeah, we'd love to support that.
I have a couple of questions and comments. Questions are, so you create all this, but you're not, and then are you deciding where to advertise it all, or is she?
Well, it kind of works in the opposite way. You know, we start working on a marketing plan in the spring.
Right.
And we also go to the Visit and See conference in the spring to learn more about the co-op opportunities, which could be digital, could be print, could be social. And then we discuss that, we bring it back and decide. Like this year, we did like Blue Ridge Outdoors magazine. We did certain things with Visit and See with their brand. We've done some things with Romantic Asheville. So we kind of look at a lot of different opportunities, but we're not just throwing things out there.
No. I know you're not doing that.
Their lead times are significant.
And then I bring it to them and say, okay, here's what we're doing next year. So let's put the.
And she had kind of advises you.
So yeah, she will say, hey, I'm thinking about this, what do you think? And I think we helped bring the Blue Ridge Outdoors idea to the table, because we feel like that's an important audience for Swain County. So all those plans get made in advance, because you got to buy well in advance for lead times. And then as contract due dates come up, we're working on them, you know, a month ahead. in order to get those deliverables out on time, in order to run when the press hits.
So, I'm not in the adventure world, or I am a little bit. My husband and I have a tubing company that we've had for 20 years that's in Cherokee, but I've been living in Georgia part-time since 2020. And so the information I'm gonna give you both is that I'm still shocked with as good as our advertising looks. I can tell you that I meet people every day that do not know about Bryson City. And it blows my mind that I'm an hour south of here, in a high tourism area as well. And they feel that, the North Georgia mountains are the top place to go hiking. Or I try to tell them that where Bryson City is, and I end up having to tell them, you know where Harrah's Casino is. Oh, yeah, I said 10 miles south. That's every day, and all summer long, I tried to steal brochures from my store here, because I have three retail locations, one at the National Park, one downtown Bryson City, and one in Clayton, Georgia. And so I was constantly handing out, when I had them, the brochures for Bryson City, and it's people from Atlanta, and that's what shocks me. Monday through Friday, it's Atlanta people. Saturday and Sunday, it's all South Carolina folks. And they just don't seem to know. And so my thing is, what are we doing to continue to find the best avenues to promote this town? Because I'm just shocked that people don't know about this. And this presentation looks so great, but people just are not seeing it.
Right. We're actually doing quite a bit to reach that market. I think, we did some billboards this year.
And did you, I don't know.
We're not gonna continue them because we just aren't.
You're not seeing it.
No, and I would go look at them occasionally, because I spend part of my summer.
In Georgia.
In Georgia, and so I would always go look at the billboards, and the locations are great, but I just didn't feel like we were getting, a bang for the buck.
No,
We do a very massive brochure, our visitor guide distribution throughout South Carolina, and I'm talking about the northwest corner of South Carolina, and North Georgia, and also the corridor from Lake City, Florida, up I-75 to Atlanta, from Atlanta over to Greenville, Spartanburg, and then on up into Charlotte. So I'm just mentioning our visitor guides, we have doubled our production because they are going out.
good.
And our distributors that we use are calling Rita constantly, we need more, we
Good.
need more, we need more. So, we're trying to get some places, but like whenever I do a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, I target those areas like Atlanta, Greenville, Spartanburg, Charlotte, Raleigh. I look at our Google Analytics to see where people are finding, what our top cities are, and just focus on those, because it's really that 200 to 300 mile circle is really where our people are coming from. Chattanooga, Knoxville,
Right.
Nashville. So, I try to get the social media ads there.
It's like Asheville, you don't have to say Biltmore House. You get to say Asheville, and everybody knows Asheville. Everybody knows Asheville now, for various different reasons. But you have to say Harrah's for Cherokee now, and you have to say the train for Bryson City. And we're just so much more, or the NOC.
I think
And we're more than the NOC.
More than Nantahala River.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but we're more than that too, and I'm not knocking that. I know that I've been around a long time, so I know what they've done for this place, but I feel like we're still so much more and can be so much more, and if we want more diversity to come here, I just feel like we need to present more.
I think people are trying to save money right now, and part of that comes with vacation packages too. Like, when I am trying to save money and go to a place, I'm looking around right now and there's nothing offered for Swain County to do a bunch of things at one time.
And I agree with that. People
I think that would
budget
help
friendly.
drive some of that here, because when you're Googling right now, you're looking for, I have a family of 5, I want to go do something fun. What's the best bang for my buck?
Exactly.
I can book my room, I can set my days straight, just like going to Disney World. Now it's easy to go to Disney World, because you can do it all there. So.
Yeah.
So I think there's an opportunity on the website to put together sample packages packages, and I think we've started that a little
Yeah,
bit on the
we have.
website. We're actually real familiar with Clayton and North Georgia because we have clients that are in that business in the Atlanta market. There are a lot of people in Atlanta who are gonna come up and do the Nantahala River, making
That
sure
may,
that.
they may never visit this town.
And that's why we need to tell the bigger.
And that's what bothers
the-
me.
The bigger story. And some great ways to do that are investing in pay-per-click advertising, and we do that as well, and you've started a program here. I don't know that it's particularly big. You know, there's budget trade-offs, there's trade-offs of different channels, but what we would tend to do is we would tend to be bidding on the terms for the other things they're doing to say, have you considered, and here's what you can get in Bryson City, and having example packages. You can't package all the different vendors together, but example itineraries, which we do for our adventure companies who have the same issue. What can you do in Ohio Pal?
Yeah.
They want you to go rafting, there's a campground, there's
If
ice
they
cream
know how
shop,
much
et
it
cetera.
is, how much it's gonna
Yeah.
cost, they don't have to book when
Yeah.
they get there,
Yeah.
they can just come.
Yeah, so all of that is definitely possible, and that's part of what you're thinking about now is Mary Ann's doing 2023 planning.
Yeah.
We're gonna be getting involved and supportive where we can, so I think it's a valid point. Why are you in Georgia?
I've had my youngest son in, school
I'm teasing you.
as a day student.
Yeah.
And
Oh, are you
and
at Raven Gap?
successful, yeah, yeah. And then I opened a business, so,
Is it Raven Gap?
yes.
Yeah, my son went there for a year. It's a fabulous school. Love it, yeah. Any other questions? I mean, this is a wonderful conversation, and we're happy to come anytime and chat, or do lunch. We all live here, so. Anything else?
I was gonna speak to that as well and say, a lot of the things we inherited and the old contracts that the TDA had were prep media, lots of like guides to the Blue Ridge Parkway, those kind of things, some more traditional things, and that's what we do in our meetings, is talk about, okay, how do we maybe, is this working, what metrics can we see, and are there people specifically we want to be targeting? And so we love digital advertising, obviously, and want to move more towards that, because I can say I want the active 35-year-old that's female in Georgia. Like, I can get that nitty-gritty with it and see how well it performs as well, or if it doesn't, and then we move on. Whereas it is a little more difficult sometimes with the things like the billboards, and they serve their purpose, but when there are those specific places we want to target. So those are the conversations we have as well, and try to push forward when we're looking at contracts for the new year. So yeah.
I'd like to see you focus on hiking, because I'm not a hiker, and I'm not gonna be, but there's a lot of people that come there to hike, and I guess there's some guides that tell them all the places to go for waterfalls, but I'm sitting here thinking, why couldn't there be a continuation for that? Because I don't see it. I mean, we say hiking, but like, are we promoting certain hikes or things like that? And I definitely think we can always build up the fishing. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, we agree. Yep.
I want to put that plug in
And
for
we-
you, Eugene.
we-
Hey, that'd be cool, I mean,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, everybody, apparently they've got this river down there that the presidents, the Soki River,
it's private,
But,
it's all private held, private banks.
but
who
the
pay to
presidents go
play.
there to fly fish, and it's big time, and I'm sitting there thinking, why aren't we trying to
We have
get the
same
president of the
thing.
United States up here,
We
fly
have the
fishing?
same thing publicly right here on the Tuckasegee, that's the same kind of thing as what they have on Sokoy. It's, I mean, enter through our Facebook or social media, you'll be
I mean,
like,
but it's
okay,
it's
just a
big
big
deal,
fish.
big catered events,
Oh, yeah.
lots of Secret Service,
Oh, yeah.
lots of famous people,
But,
Ted
yeah.
Turner, all those guys are there,
It owns about 4 miles of that thing.
Oh, okay, so, but I'm just
There
saying,
is
but we
that.
got all this, we got stocked rivers up here
Yeah, we've got.
that we
that's-
should be,
We've got more streams to fish than they do, and when their stuff gets so hot, in the summer months, they close them down, they can't even fish, we're still wide open, we're actually
That-
a true year-round fishery.
exactly, year round.
And they're not, so I mean, I deal with that whole, when you start talking about the Atlanta
Yeah.
stuff, I deal with that all the time, 'cause they think that, hey, that's just kinda what it
They
is,
think
but
it's-
that's how
they think
those
it's
folks market that too.
World class,
Yeah, it's,
Right. And-
we grin 'cause we know it's not,
yeah.
but.
And-
But,
President did used to kind of fish
Did he?
in Hazel Creek, yeah,
oh, I mean,
years ago.
Mhm.
But this is a great conversation, and we can help on the
Yeah.
fishing, because we're anglers too, and there's, I have a place out in Bozeman as well, and the summertime, it's too hot, and they actually have closed the rivers. So, and they don't actually close, well, the Tuck was pretty hot there for a while,
Yeah,
we
the
couldn't
Tuck gets
fish.
warm,
But there's
National
places in the
Park.
park you can fish the whole time.
Yeah.
So, and we added hiking trails to the Nantahala Gorge brochure, but I think it's the online play and really getting good ads out there in the pay-per-click world that could be really supportive. And we're talking to Mary Ann about that, so, yeah. Thank you so much for your time. You know
Thank
where to
you.
find us.
You had mentioned the railroad thing, it spurred me on.
I love it.
Did anybody watch CBS Sunday Morning this week?
I missed it, but I usually do. Were they on it?
I have it in my executive report, but I'll see if I can get it online.
Yeah, it's, so we're,
Yes.
Great Smoky Mountain Railroad is 6th in the country for Google search for 2022. It's behind the Statue of Liberty. Let's see, Bellagio, Las Vegas, number 3, Golden Gate Bridge, and Manhattan Bridge in Brooklyn, New York, whatever, like 6th.
This is huge. I've got
That's huge, but we can't get Our State magazine to put us before Dillsboro for Christmas. Give me a break.
Well, that
I mean-
means we quit advertising in our state magazine. It's all about dollars. It's like,
That's
okay,
exactly-
either put us in
that's
here.
exactly-
Is that what- I mean,
Yeah,
I'm like-
I was gonna say, that's odd.
And the same
There's-
with like Southern Living.
Yeah, and you can't get your own state to.
Thank you, Julie. Thanks for everything you do.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'd like a business card. Yeah.
Thanks, Julie. So next.
I'll just keep moving along, yeah, with the executive report. And I was gonna lead with what Kevin was just referring to. This is a very big deal. It's the first thing on my report, which looks like this, and I put a link in there. This isn't anything that is like a PR initiative. I mean, this is just a fact. Google released this information, I think on Monday. So they released their top 10 scenic spots searched for in the United States. This is substantial for us. It's basically highlighting the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad in Bryson City. That's how it's listed in this article. So it's great for the train, it's great for us. But it actually aligns us with, like what Kevin was just reading to you, Statue of Liberty, Manhattan Bridge, San Francisco, Las Vegas, and Horseshoe Bend, Arizona. So it's gotten a lot of national TV coverage, digital coverage, print coverage. I have a link there if you want to go see it. But this is a very, very big deal, and I'm going to send this information to the local media and have them, write a story about this. It is a big deal.
Could our social team also do that?
Mm-hmm. I've already put it out there on Monday. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, and I started putting it out on social. But we'll get it out on more channels. But it's a very big deal. So I just wanted you guys to know that it's a big deal. A few things. See if there's anything new in here. We're still working on the visitor guide as far as content. Photo updates, have your Google Analytics reports in here. First page is showing your various channels and referrals where people are coming from. So organic search is over 40%, and that's really, really good. And it can be better, and we know it can be better. But for a website that's not even a year old, to be getting that much traffic is really good, followed by social, and then people coming direct. What I wanted to point out, next couple of pages are more of the geo data as far as the top states. No real surprises there. 3 states that also make up the top 10 are Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio, so a little bit more Midwest. And this is data for the month of November. They got your top cities there. Again, no real surprises. The second to the last page is really just showing you what pages people are landing on. So they are definitely finding, for the month of November, they're definitely finding the light show They're coming there first before anywhere. They could be picking it up from social media, from a digital ad. They could be picking it up from a billboard or a print ad where we've got a URL. So a lot of traffic is going there first. Number 2 is actually, that's our homepage. Number 3 is just a general Christmas and holiday page, which talks more about other events, the ice skating, Polar Express, Darnell Farms. So you can kind of see when you look at the top 10 pages, you know, they're looking at things to do for Christmas, things to do in the winter, and they're also looking for lodging and events. So it's kind of interesting to see how people are actually coming in. These are the pages that they're coming into first. And then the last page is basically just telling you the referral traffic specifically. So, you know, obviously Facebook is number 1, followed by Romantic Asheville. So there's some good data there, but it's just kind of interesting how that light show has kind of dominated the website for the month of November, and I expect it. See, I can even look. I also looked at early December Google Analytics and seeing kind of the same trend. I have a report here from Pineapple Public Relations. This is very heavy on Instagram influencers because we hosted, I believe, 4. So they've got a lot of data in here because there was a lot of content shared by a lot of really prominent Instagram influencers. So you're going to see a lot of data on that. Some people were here in the fall and just kind of did a good fall promo. Others were here or will be here this weekend. We have some coming in to actually highlight, you know, the Polar Express and all the other events that we have going on. So there's a lot of detailed publicity there. That's probably the bulk of this report. Then they show some of the organic work that they've done, some reels that they've put together, and you know, there's a lot of good information. It's very kind of a fat packet this month because they did have so many influencers that they arranged and brought in. In addition to the Instagram influencers, there have been other media partners. I know Julie kind of touched on these media partners that we work with, but to help us promote the holiday season, the light show, the attractions. The State Tourism Office was here. They went to Darnell Farms, they went ice skating, they went on the Polar Express. I even took them to the North Pole, so they got to experience that. And of course, the light show. So these various partners have been here within the last 2 to 4 weeks, now that everything's kind of up and running, and writing stories and doing social media promos. Romantic Asheville, which Julie also referred to, that they help us with, they were actually here to do some drone video for us, and I just saw it recently. It looks really, really good. Pineapple Public Relations was here about 3 weeks ago, kind of did their own immersion tour and got their own assets to promote out. Now, Concord Creative is not so much a media partner, but that is who we hired to do the promos for us this year. So they have done a lot of coverage for the same 4 highlighted things that I mentioned: the light show, the Polar Express, the ice skating, and the Darnell Farms experience. So they put a lot of video, photo assets together for us. And one of the things that I really like about working with them, and I know some of you already do work with them, they will actually put the reels together for me. They'll do the reel for TikTok, the reel for Instagram, the reel for TikTok. So they're putting all the format, they're formatting it for, as a lot of you know that do social media, you know, YouTube is one orientation and TikTok's a different one, and Instagram, you know, everything imaginable, they've actually put it in that format so that all I have to do is upload it. So they've really been a pleasure to work with. And we're getting new photo assets almost every day. So they're local, so if you ever need someone to help promote your business, I do recommend them as well. We have new banners that we're designing, and these are for the light poles on Main Street. These are the light poles, these are the DOT light poles. They have the snowflakes on them right now. So when the snowflakes come down, we want to put these new banners up, so it'll have our branding, you know, the Explore Bryson City with our domain and our colors,
And
so.
they'll stay up year round?
Yep.
Okay.
They only come down when the snowflakes go up. So have visitor totals attached for the visitor center and the aquarium. If you look way over in the right column for 2022 and go down to November, you can see we were up more than 10% for November in the visitor center. It was just generally busy. It wasn't busy at the beginning of the month, but right about the time the Polar Express started and the light show started, we started seeing a lot of people. I mean, ask Rita, she's just wiped out. I mean, on a Saturday, we can have 400 or 500 people in there. And that was, we did not have that last year. I mean, we might have had 200, but so we're seeing a lot more people, and they're all in their pajamas. It's kind of fun to look out the window and see everybody. They're getting their pictures taken in front of the big Christmas tree. I mean, it's really just kind of a festive place to be right now. They're writing their letters to Santa, and we're giving them cookies and hot cocoa. So it's, I look forward to seeing the December numbers. They're definitely going to be higher. And of course, the aquarium is also up, and the holiday market's going on. Is there one more weekend, Rita? And that, as you know, is where the farmer's market is, so that's kind of helping drive additional traffic and foot traffic. The vendors are happy, and I guess if the vendors are happy,
That's real good.
Yeah, that's the indicator right there.
You know, Rita, one year we're gonna get the remote control thing for the Christmas tree lighting, right? Well, I've never seen it work right. I've been there for 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
Everybody's got to
It's the
be.
same thing every year. It's like you push the button to light, they have the countdown, push the button, and you see people start scrambling around behind. Yeah, it's,
Push the button. Not everybody got the memo.
yeah,
I wasn't there this year. I was there last year, and we had a similar issue.
so, yeah.
I pushed the button.
I want to point out the aquarium total numbers, if you'll look. You know, since it kind of got dropped in our lap and we take over this aquarium, you know, we went from 3,000 to 4,000 visitors to 16,000 last year, and we're at 15 this year.
Yeah.
So it's obvious that if our fly fishing museum was over there with it, just what these numbers are going to
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Agreed.
be 4 times as amount of numbers over there. And I know a lot of that with the aquarium is brought on by our farmer's market that we have over there every, you know, throughout the year.
Yep.
People are kind of just flowing into
Yes.
the aquarium from the farmer's market.
The next item is your October occupancy report. It looks like this, and this is again for October collections. We were at $226,291.60, which is 5% over last year and 11% over budget. Because if you remember, when we budgeted to do a little bit less because we weren't sure about the impact of the economy, the coronavirus, the COVID-19. So we had a very good October, so I was happy with that. I don't know if any of the rest of you experienced that, but these were the collections for the month. Next item is committees. We never got around to assigning Patty Jo to a committee. So we have 3 committees, Patty Jo. We have finance, marketing, and beautification. So the finance and marketing are probably pretty obvious, but the beautification, that's where we have a vacancy right now. And basically that's Shannon and Pooh right now. Ron LaRock was in that committee as well. But basically we probably meet more than any other committee. And we talk about things like the spring flowers. And we work on what we want to do. We get together probably January,
And
maybe
Christmas.
early February. And then we start talking about Christmas, and that's big. That's a big one. So if that aligns with what you think you'd be interested in, we just have a vacancy there. So, but if you're interested in one of these other committees, you can go on them, and that's fine. It just makes it a 4-member committee, and that means we can't really have any more board members than 4 on a committee, or it creates a
Beautification is
quorum.
fine.
Okay.
We don't bite. We're pretty good, aren't we, Shannon?
Yeah.
I got a couple of reminders in your packet. There is not a meeting on January 11th. I put just this on print again in your packet, just in case you need a printed reminder. But we do not have a meeting on January 11th. Our next meeting is actually the annual retreat. That's on January 25th at 10 a.m. at McKinley Edwards Inn. So make sure you guys have that. We don't have a meeting in February. And a new update to the schedule is that I need to move the March 8th meeting to March 15th because Rita and I will be in Asheville for the Visit NC annual conference on the 8th. So wanted to make sure that was okay with everybody, doesn't interfere with the spring break, and spring breaks are in April, and we
Thank you for
already
doing that.
accommodated that.
Yeah, better.
But that's a meeting date change, so. There is a summary in here if you like print. There it is. Kevin already talked to you about the pool slide, so I don't really have anything there. He just had talked to me about it earlier this week, so I put it in my report. Our new van that you all approved for last year, we understand it's in transit. It's on its way here. So I'm going to be working with Liquid Spark to work on the van wrap. We got a design to wrap that van to look like a branded van. So I don't have a delivery date, but we at least know that it's coming. I have an update on the EV charging station. CIC Technologies has installed their box for low voltage internet connection. They are reaching out, and they might have already done it. Tomorrow? Oh, to Mark. Yeah. They're reaching out to our county IT person to connect the internet to our internet inside the building. And then the electrician will come back to finish the electrical work now that the box is installed. So many pieces to this. So much technology. I have some pictures in here of the Fly Fishing Museum. I took these on Monday, so you can kind of see how it's coming along. The foundation is ready for cement to be poured, which will likely be next week. The sky was not really pink in that one picture. My printer is just having trouble printing blue today. Also, 2 of the 3 new digital exhibits for the Kids Zone have been delivered. Once we receive the last one later this month, we will reopen that corner. Also get a story done on that, a local press on that. Only committee reporting is that we're going to plan spring flowers with the beautification committee probably sometime in early February, so we can get that RFP written and get that out to local folks to bid on that. I think that's it. Are there any questions on that? I'm going to go right into the financial report, which is several stapled pages, looks like this. So the top page is the report for the month of November. And all the supporting documentation is behind that, all the expenses that hit that statement this month. And after that is the bank statement. And after that is more journal entries, and then the credit card statement. So if you have any questions on any of these expenses, if I don't have the answer right away, I can look it up and get it to you. I am running a separate total on the light show, so I'll bring that to the retreat so we can see what all those expenses were. Some of the expenses are one time because we had to get the location ready with gravel and other things. Some of it's marketing, some of it's just infrastructure related. So
So is that money still allotted to the side for the square?
yeah, it's in the, oh God, what do we call it? Restricted fund balance.
Restricted?
You won't see that on here. It's on the balance sheet.
with that?
Waiting on the board,
It's probably time to
Waiting
start
on
talking
us.
about that again.
waiting us to decide when we want to approach the commissioners.
Yep.
So you're waiting on us, not the commissioners?
Huh?
Waiting on us, not the commissioners?
No, waiting on us, yeah, to decide
It's,
when we want
it's
to approach
time
the
to,
commissioners.
it's time.
Yeah, well, I thought they were meeting.
No,
They never met?
they're not doing anything until we decide to come to them.
I think we need to make a formal request.
We gotta make a formal request to them.
Maybe a presentation of, I'd say, you probably need a month of discussion, another meeting to discuss it, and then figure out what we want to do going forward. So maybe February time to try, if that's what we want to do.
Feel better with those people hanging.
They check in every once in a while to see what's going on. I just told them we're just. That is all I have.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, we've got other board discussion. Anything we need to discuss right now? Otherwise, we'll move to an executive session. Anything, anyone? Okay, with that being said, I'm going to make a motion that we move to executive session per General Statute 143-318.11A4. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Pooh, all in favor? It's everyone, unanimous, unopposed.
Were we recording during this executive session?
No.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.